To be honest, when we first arrived and I took a look at the empty stage and the lighting setup, I thought, okay, this is gonna be kind of amateurish. But I was very wrong about that. We are still in Waikiki. I'm still wearing this shirt with the flames on the top. And tonight, we're gonna do something else that I have never done before, and that is go to a real Hawaiian luau. Morgan from the very unofficial Travel Gods. I have been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations around the world to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. And I also wrote a book with some short stories of real, strange, crazy, funny things that have happened to me while traveling around the world. It's called Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship. It's available on Amazon now. There are so many different options for this type of experience here on the island of Oahu. I know because I researched every single one of them, and many of them came suggested and recommended from you in a Sunday Sofa Time video I posted a long time ago when I found out that I was going to be coming here. So thanks so much for sharing those suggestions and those recommendations. The one that we chose is the Diamond Head Luau. We picked this one over the others for a variety of reasons. I think probably the two most important are we could walk to this one from the hotel, and it's Friday night tonight, and on Fridays they have a special menu called Food Truck Friday. Wait a second, I made a mistake here. Not all the vendors are food trucks, some are full restaurants. It's called Foodie Friday and not Food Truck Friday, like I say a few times in this video. Sorry about that. So it's not even really like the super traditional Hawaiian food that you get at some of the other luau's, but since I don't eat meat or fish, that makes it kind of tricky for me, and the Diamond Head Luau with its Food Truck Friday menu just screamed at us, "I'm the one!" I've been talking about it for long enough now. I know you want to see it, so this is what it was like. This luau is hosted at the Waikiki Aquarium, which was about a mile and a half from our hotel, so we just decided to walk it and take the opportunity to see a little more of the area. Waikiki is so nice. I can't wait to go back. It's like everything Miami Beach wishes it could be. It took us about 25 minutes to walk from the middle of Waikiki to the aquarium, and with your ticket to the luau, you also get a free pass to the aquarium, which you don't have to use on the same day if you don't want to, but just so you know, this is a very compact attraction. We got there more than an hour early and we're through all the exhibits in about 15 minutes. Think of it as a smaller sized sea life. Once it's time to check in, you will receive the food and beverage tickets included in the package that you booked. The more money you spend, the more tickets you get, and the better seat you get for the show. And as soon as we entered the actual venue, we got laid. Sorry, I had to do it. Our package included a chain of shells, but if you book the higher level packages, you get one made of fresh flowers. And personally, I think the shells version is cooler because you can almost wear this as a normal fashion accessory, where the flower versions, I mean, they're beautiful, but what are you going to do with that in the future? The flowers get old and then you throw it away. One pleasant surprise at the beginning of our visit was the welcome drink. Our package included one drink, but everyone also gets one welcome drink in addition to whatever drinks are included in your package. There was one little stand offering a small selection of pre-made drinks, and it was a nice way to get the party started. Like many of the other luau experiences offered on the islands, this one includes some traditional cultural activities before dinner. At Diamond Head Luau on the day that we were there, we learned about palm weaving and got a paint stamp with ocean-related symbols. Altogether, this was kind of like an outdoor waiting area, and it seemed a little disorganized and kind of generic compared to the price tag. It would have been nice if there were one or two activities that we could actually participate in, especially for the kids that were there. Eventually, the gates were opened and we were allowed inside the main area, which is a field right next to the ocean. A fantastic three-piece band was playing, and using the number on our wristbands, we found our way to our seats. I'll be talking more about the seats in a minute and how to pick the best seats for you. From this point on, the food stands and bar were open until the main show began, and there was live music and something happening on stage almost the entire time. As one of the apparently very many people who was celebrating a birthday or anniversary in April, I was dragged up on stage for an impromptu dance rehearsal, and yeah, you know, I basically nailed it and they wanted me to work with them, but I was like, no, sorry, I have a cruise to go on, find somebody else.
And the body. Look Looking fabulous. I love you. Hands on our chest, our heart, and share that aloha. Kahalo. The next verse.
Seriously though, if you don't want to be forced into this, when they ask if anybody's celebrating anything, don't raise your hand. The food stands were folding tables set up around the field. You throw your ticket in the jar and then grab a plate to bring back to your table. With our package, Marcus got 1 ticket per stand and I got the vegetarian box. However, we noticed that they weren't being really too picky about the proper color ticket for the related plate, and after about the first half hour or so, you could kind of just go grab whatever you want with or without a ticket for the table. The food selection was good and neither one of us left hungry, that's for sure. I just want to remind you that this is an experience that takes place outside, so you will be dealing with the typical picnic style issues like wind blowing your napkins away, bugs flying around, and the occasional bird maybe wanting a treat. I was a little surprised that our drink tickets only covered a Mai Tai, well drinks, beer, or soft drinks, and that everything else was a pretty hefty upcharge. The main show begins with a fire ceremony and then continues throughout the next hour and a half approximately with a journey through the Polynesian islands and some of the most well-known folklore and legends. The band got even bigger for the main show and there was live music and singing throughout the night. Between the musical numbers, our host would explain the legends and tell us stories. There were also bits that were a little more full of comedy, and overall, we really enjoyed the show. Y'all know I come from a theater and dance background, and I can tell you from my professional opinion, the dancing in this show was polished. They were very well rehearsed, and it was interesting to me as someone who has a lot of formal dance training in the past to observe the different styles of Polynesian dance. To some people, it might have all looked very similar, but I really appreciated that the person or people who choreographed this show really took the time to showcase different styles of dance from the islands. Another thing I was so impressed by were the costumes. People, there were like probably 10 costume changes in this show. Some of them were very elaborate. To be honest, when we first arrived and I took a look at the empty stage and the lighting setup, I thought, okay, this is gonna be kind of amateurish. But I was very wrong about that. The talent, the dancing, the sound quality, the music, and especially the costumes were, in my opinion, an extremely high level. If I was producing this show, I would invest just a little bit more money to spruce up the stage and lighting package so it matched the high level of talent I was showcasing. It kind of didn't fit together for me to have this amazing show with these really talented people and beautiful costumes on kind of a small, poorly lit stage. Okay, now I can give you some advice if you're thinking of going to Foodie Friday at the Diamond Head Luau. We booked one of the least expensive packages and it still cost almost $400 for 2 adults, and our seats were at the very back of the tables. But I would actually recommend sitting at the back because depending on which table you get, you might have to be like turning over your shoulder the entire time to watch the show, and that gets, you're gonna get a cramp in your neck after about 15 minutes. Since we were in the back and there were no tables behind us, after a while, Marcus and I and other people stood up and stretched our legs, and then we grabbed our chairs and pulled them behind the last row of tables so we could just kind of face the stage forward and not have to turn sideways to look. Especially if you have antsy kids who are gonna find it challenging to sit around for 90 minutes, my advice is just book the cheap seats in the back, and then you have a little more flexibility to move around a little bit and get a good view. Another thing to mention is be sure to bring some kind of jacket. It did get a little cool when the sun went down, and it actually did rain for a little bit. They don't stop the show if it rains, and rain is a common occurrence in Hawaii. And another thing that makes going on Friday night so special is on most Friday nights, there are fireworks on the beach. It was such a special way to end this great but kind of expensive evening.
Hey, thank you very much.
What do you think? Have you been to this luau, or have you been to another of the luau type celebrations here on the island? How did it compare to what you saw in this video? I think next time we come to the island, I would really like to go to the Polynesian Cultural Center on the other side of the island and see the two big shows that they have there. One is a luau style show, and the other one is called Ha or Hey, and it is like a huge spectacle. Marcus and I love a huge spectacle, but I'm happy that we went to see this one. Please do me a favor and hit subscribe before you leave. If you are not subscribed yet, press that thumbs up button and leave me a comment before you go. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. See you soon.